Hello there guys, my name is FXivGaming and welcome back to another episode of the Brits challenge. Now, basically what's happened recently is I've been going a bit too slow on video fronts, and I started this series late because I wasn't doing YouTube videos before, and now I am, and basically now we are getting extremely close to the release of Football Manager 2014, so I'm going to speed up the series significantly. So basically, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to release a video at the end of every season giving a season review, and that's all I'm going to do for an entire season now, for the thing. And the only time I will release another video is if I got to the quarterfinals of the Europa or Champions League. That is the only time I will release a live stream or any other kind of video than the end of season review. Okay, so this season 2015 to 2016 I won the title, and I did it. I was the Invincibles this season. I won 32 games, I drew 6, and I lost none. I scored 102 goals, which is level with the amount of points I managed to get, so I got to triple figures points wise. And I finished with a 25 point gap at the top of the table. That was quick maths for me. Yeah, 25 point gap at the top of the table, and I got double the goal difference of Portadown. So absolutely emphatic, really, this season. Okay, so then moving on to how I did in Europa League. Now, you would have watched my Champions League playoff where I was knocked out by Celtic, but it meant I went into Europa League group stage, and you would have watched who I got in a draw, if you're obviously a big fan of my channel, which I'm sure everyone is. Yeah, so I drew H Tel Aviv, Steaua Bucharest, and Shakhtar Donetsk, and the first game of that thing I won 3-2 against H Tel Aviv, my first ever victory in the Europa League group stage. Cal Naismith, Jean Perez, and Jim Lawless picked up the strikes. Then I beat Steaua Bucharest 3-0. I then drew with Shakhtar 1-0, and then I drew with once again at home I drew with Shakhtar 2-0. Billy Joe Burns and Wes Fletcher picked up the goals for myself. Dentinho and Sarna picked up the goals for Shakhtar Donetsk. I then beat H Tel Aviv 3-0 to book my place in the Europa League first knockout round. Daniel Alfai, Wes Fletcher, and Cal Naismith picked up the goals in a match in which we dominated them. We had 4 clear-cut chances to their 1. We actually didn't have all the possession, really. They had more possession, but on average rating we did much better. Daniel Alfai picked up man of the match in that game. We then lost 1-0 to Steaua Bucharest because I played a weakened side because we'd already booked our place in the group stage. And then against Anderlecht in the Europa League first knockout round, that's who I drew. I won 1-0 at home. An important victory for my side. Philip Lowry picked up the strike in that game. And then in the second leg, I drew 1-0. Olivier Deschnat gave me a scare in the 15th minute when he scored. But then Sami Karufas levelled it 13 minutes later. And then we managed to hold on, so we went through 2-1 on aggregate. We then drew Olympique Marseille from Ligue 1 in France, which we drew 2-2 the first leg, and then we lost 3-1 the second leg. So we exited the Europa League at the second knockout round, which is one away from the quarterfinals. Well, the next round was the quarterfinals. Philip Lowry picked up our only goal of the match, and statistically we were outplayed. Even on average rating, we were outplayed. We were outplayed on everything but tackles won. Right, so then moving on to how I did in the County Antrim Shield. The first round of that I won 4-0 against Donegal Celtic. I then beat Ballymena United 3-0, Distillery 2-0 in the semi-final, and then in extra time I managed to become the County Antrim Shield victors once again with a 3-2 victory. just having a look at that game. Matthew Etherington, a January signing, or well, he brought him in on a free transfer. Yeah, Matthew Etherington picked up one of the goals in that game. Cal Naismith and Philip Lowry picked up the other goals. Philip Lowry was the one who scored an extra time in the 114th minute to send us through. Okay, so then League Cup wise, we won the League Cup. From the semi-quarterfinals, we beat Carrick 3-0 in the quarterfinal. We then beat Glenavon 2-1 in the semi-final, and in extra time, we beat Ballymena United in the League Cup final. Daryl Ledworth picked up the goal in the 98th minute, and then Connor Newton confirmed our place as champions in the 103rd minute. Okay, so Irish Cup wise, we actually had to be taken to a replay in the Irish Cup quarter-final after an exciting 1-1 draw with Portadown. In the 18th minute, Portadown went 1-0 up with a Neil McCafferty penalty, but then the 28th minute, 10 minutes later, Daryl Ledworth levelled, and we absolutely dominated them, but didn't manage to make the most of our 5 clear-cut chances. But there was no such problem in the second leg as we ran out in the replay. Sorry, as we run out 3-1 victors. We were 3-1 victors again against Carrick in the semi-final, and then 5-1 victors against Ards in the final. Philip Lowry picked up 2 strikes. Ilyas Afdis picked up 2 strikes as well, and Sammy Karufas also did get a goal in that game. Okay, then moving on to the final competition we entered in the year. Could we complete 5 trophies in one season? No, we couldn't. Against Shamrock Rovers, the team who FXivGaming is managing on the Decathlon Challenge, we lost in the final. It was a 2-0 loss. Kieran Coldiff gave them the lead in the 10th minute. Mark Gavin made it 2-0 in the 36th minute, and we never really managed to score. Craig Thompson was someone who we actually were interested in at one point. I actually have a scout report on him because I was interested in signing Craig Thompson at one point or the other. After his contract at Hearts expired, I tried signing him, but unfortunately, I couldn't get him, but but he really did show us there why we should have signed him. Statistically, we were the better side. We had 18 shots, 8 on target, 8 off target. We didn't have any clear-cut chances, neither did they, but we dominated them on possession with 61% possession. So, in the end, we were unlucky to lose, but we had a big fixture congestion at the end of the season. Let's just have a look at that fixture congestion. At the end of the season, running up to it, right, on the 20th, we played against Glentoran in the All-Ireland Cup semi-final. 3 days later, we played Glentoran in the Premier League. 2 days later, we played Portadown. Another 2 days later, we played Cliftonville. 3 days later, we played Ards. And then we had a week until the Irish Cup final, and then another week till the All-Ireland Cup final. So really, we couldn't blame fixture congestion, but we got too big to our boots, really. But in this point, we used a lot of our steam, because let's look, we didn't lose at all. Well, we didn't lose at many points this season, to be fair, but between those points we didn't lose, and we played remarkably well, considering that in 1 week we did actually play 4 games. Between this point we played 4 games. Okay, so that has been that for the 2015 to 2016 season. Now join me next time for another end of the season review. quite possibly, although hopefully we might be able to get to the Europa League group stage or the Champions League group stage. Not group stage, quarterfinals. So thank you very much for watching. I have been FXivGaming, and please do leave a sub because I will have series coming out in Football Manager 2014 when it does come out, and that is why I'm trying to speed this up so I can have a clean slate when that comes out. Goodbye.